Hi everyone, this is Melissa. I go by Stitching Liz here on YouTube and also over on Instagram. And it would mean so much to me if you would follow me in both places and like and subscribe to this video. Today we're going to be doing my 2023 WIP parade and my 2024 plans such as they are right now. So let's get started. A lot of my WIPs are actually pretty old, but I'm going to show you a couple that you may have just seen recently first. I'm going to try and show you the bags that I keep them in. So this is a Momily bag by Emily C. Eclectic Possessions. And I have two WIPs in here. The first one is something you saw just recently. It's Memento Mori by Fairy Wool in the Wood. And that's what it looks like. And this is where I am at on this WIP. It's still in the hoop because I was just working on it. So this is a fun one. I think I will pick this one up again fairly soon, but definitely, if not soon, next year around the fall. And the other WIP that's in this bag is Gathering Pumpkins by Annie B's Folk Art. And this one I started during my Halloween start-a-thon. And I haven't worked on it since. So it's still just right there. This is part of a series with Gathering Holly and Gathering Strawberries. I finished those two, so I definitely want to finish this one, and we'll get back to this one within the next year. So that's my first couple of WIPs. The next one is in a So Much to Love bag. I love all these cats, and it's so colorful and cute. And this one is Welcome to the Forest by Country Cottage Needleworks. It's a multiple chart release, and you could do it separately or you could do it all together, and I decided to do it all together. This is the banner. This is one of the animals in the forest, another animal, a house, animal, another house, another animal, and back to the banner. And they provided a free border if you were going to do it as one large piece. And I haven't worked on this in many years, but when I started it, I started working on the border. This is actually a light yellow fabric, which is showing up kind of beige in the camera, but it's light yellow. So I had started on the border, and then this white line is part of the banner, that first banner chart. So I haven't gotten very far, but I did keep this. I recently decluttered my WIPs and got rid of some that have been sitting around for many years that just were no longer something that I was interested in working on. This one I decided to keep to see if I did work on it because I do think it's charming. I just don't know with the size if I really will get back to it, but I'm keeping it for now just to see. My next WIP is in this Garon Toten Bags bag. All those fairies are so cute. And what's inside this one is something I started a couple of years ago for Kia Bee's 12 by 12. It's Black Heart by Kathy Barrick. So it's a bunch of motifs in a black heart. And I only worked on this for less than an hour during that 12 by 12 on New Year's Eve. So I did not get very far on it. This is all I have so far, but I really like this chart, and I've done 2 Kathy Barrick charts before and I really enjoyed them. So I think I'll enjoy this one too. It's just a matter of getting back to it, which is true of all WIPs, right? You just have to try and get back to them. And the next one is in this unicorn purple bag. This was made by someone who no longer sells bags on Etsy. She doesn't make bags anymore. This one is called He Is Risen, and it's by Little House Needleworks. So it's kind of an Easter chart. And I haven't worked on this one in a long time either, but I will show you where I'm at with it. That needle minder's covering some of my stitches. So I've got some of the tomb done and some of the palm tree. So still pretty far to go on this one, but more work on this one than some of the other ones. I wish I knew the fabrics. I'm really sorry I don't know the fabrics. They are almost all Aida. They are all Aida, but I think they're almost all 16 count Aida. This bag is a So Much to Love bag. It's actually the first project bag I ever bought for myself. It's the little pandas and the flowers. What's in here is called Gather Ye Tulips, and that's by Heartstring Samplery. The cover is actually a photo. That's how old this original chart is. So it's a lady on a deer, and instead of gather ye, it says gather ye tulips while ye may. So I will show you how far I got on this one. It's been a while since I worked on this one. I was working on the deer the last time I worked on it. I'm not even sure which way it goes, but that's as far as I've gotten on it. I found it a little hard to work on, counting all the stitches for the deer. So I feel a little reluctant to get back to this one, although it was a long time ago that I worked on this, so I have a lot more experience as a stitcher now, and it might not be as difficult to me as it was when I first started it. Okay, this bag is by Miska Cat. I don't remember what her shop was called. She had a shop on Etsy for a little while, and I got this bag from her. What's in here is another project I started in the 12 by 12 for New Year's Eve for Kia B, and I only worked on it that night a couple of years ago. This is Moonlight Visitor by Blackbird Designs. This is my only Blackbird Designs I've ever started, ever worked on. It's the only one I own. I really like it. And this is where I am with this one. I started working on the house, but again, I worked on this for less than an hour. It was a very short amount of time. So not a lot of progress on that one. The next one is in this bag. This is a Momily bag as well by Emily C. Eclectic Possessions. And this, what's in here is a Design Works kit that I had started many, many years ago. It's called, I think it's called Here Kitty Kitty. And it's got this silhouette of a cat and words that have to do with cats. And it was a kit, so it came with the fabric and the threads to do the chart. And I haven't worked on this in years. This is where I got to so far with it. One thing that I was very inexperienced when I started this, and so this silhouette is filled in, and you can see I started the outline of it, but this word kitty is backstitched. So I didn't realize that it wasn't a good idea to backstitch unless you've done the stitching underneath it first. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, if I'm going to try and stitch around it or pull out the word, at least the K in the word kitty, and re-stitch it after I do the inside of the silhouette. But that's how inexperienced I was when I started this one. And the next one is in a So Much to Love bag. And this one is my first sampler, well, reproduction sampler that I tried. This is Ann Powell by Pineberry Lane. I'm not a huge fan of the fabric that this one is on. Not the color, it's the way it feels when it's stitching. I'm not doing too badly on this one, but I don't feel compelled to work on it. There's still a lot more stitching to go on this. And it's not calling to me, but I did feel like I wanted to keep it and that I wanted to try and finish it. I'm a huge fan of the girl in this sampler. So that's Ann Powell. This is a So Much to Love bag, but it's one of their bigger bags. It has more of a square bottom. And I'm keeping La Scapigliata in this one, which you may have seen before previously on some of my videos on my channel. It's in this book, Ultimate Cross Stitch Projects by Maria Diaz. And it's a chart of Leonardo da Vinci's La Scapigliata. So this is what it looks like when it's finished. And this is where I am at with this one. So still a lot of work to go on this one. I find it very challenging to work on. I really thought about decluttering this one because it is not something I really find fun to do, but I've put so much effort into it already that I would hate to just toss away the effort. And I know I would love it when it's done. So I really want to try and finish it. So I didn't give up on this piece yet. And my second to last WIP is in this So Much to Love bag with these Russian nesting dolls that I like so much. And this one is Awake My Soul. Awake My Soul by La Di Da. And I worked on this one this year during Major WIP's March, which was something I made up. And this is how far I am with this one. I made really good progress on this during Major WIP's March. I had a couple of counting errors that I had to frog and redo a couple of times. Those vines sometimes are a little tricky, but I really like this one, and I'm looking forward to working on this again and finishing this one. And my last WIP, I don't have a cover picture of. It is in this bag by So Much to Love. I liked all these unicorn faces. And this is my Downton Abbey character alphabet. And it's by Fangirl Stitches. I think she's still on Etsy. I think she still sells charts on Etsy. And this is where I am with this one. So it's all different characters from Downton Abbey that go with the letters of the alphabet. The letters are done in satin DMC, which is actually, I think, rayon, which is very slippery but fun. I really like stitching with it. And I enjoy this. I have this dream of finishing this one while doing a marathon of all of the Downton Abbey original series and the movies, and finishing this WIP while doing that. I did work on this for Major WIP's March and made pretty good progress. The characters have a lot of little details, but they do go quickly once you're really working on them. So I enjoy this WIP a lot, and even though Downton Abbey is so kind of over, I still love it, and I still want to finish this really badly. So those are all my WIPs that I have. As I said, a lot of them are pretty old. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit about what I want to do in 2024. So I'm not a huge plans person, and even if I make plans, I am not great at following through on them. This year I have an idea to start one new chart a month, not including seasonal stitches that I want to do and small stitches that I want to do. I've been through my stash recently, and there are some charts that I have that have been in my stash for a little while, and some new ones that I really would like to get started and stitch on. And as some famous Flosstuber has said, unless you start it, you can't finish it. So I'm going to show you the 12, one for each month, that I'd like to start in 2024, and then tell you a little bit more about some of the other things that I want to do. So the first thing that I definitely am going to start and hopefully finish in 2024 is a temperature chart. This is by the same person that I'm doing my current temperature chart, by Zara Design Studio. You can find her on Etsy. I love her temperature charts. I just love her designs. This one is really neat. It's got different motifs for every day. And this one is different than the one I'm doing now. This one actually goes in lines. It goes across and back and across and back. So I'm really looking forward to doing this one. I still have to pull the threads for this and get it ready. I'm running out of time because we're almost at the end of the month and we're going to be starting the new year. So I have to get these threads ready, but this is one I'm definitely going to be doing in 2024. And then another one that I have had for a little while and would like to start is by the Blue Flower. And that's what it looks like. And it's called Language of Flowers Dream. So I don't know if this is a series language of flowers. I'm not familiar, but I like this one so much. All those purple flowers really appeal to me. Another one I'd like to start is a very big one. I got this one as a Christmas gift a couple of years ago, and it's the Long Dog Samplers Sacre Coeur. I think it means Sacred Heart, and it's all different heart motifs. This one I need to find a fabric that would be big enough. I don't know if I have a fabric big enough, so I need to find that. I have the measurements here of what I would need. So I have to see if I have a fabric, and I need to choose, depending on the fabric, what thread I want to do this with. I haven't picked a color thread, so this one needs some decisions to be made. But I like the idea of being able to do one motif at a time and really work on it and finish it. And I feel like it would be very rewarding to finish each motif one at a time. So I definitely want to start this one. This is a kit called Love Tattoo by Design Works. And it says, all you need is love. I love the colors of this one. And lately, I've done a couple of charts that are similar to this, where there's a lot of shading and a lot of dense stitching together with a lot of backstitch. And I've really enjoyed working on them. I like the way that they turn out. So when I saw this in my stash, and I've been enjoying working on that type of chart, I thought this might be a good one to start next year. I got this one recently. This is Sweet Wings Studio, Blessings Overflow. And it says, my cup overflows with blessings. And it's got cups, like teacups and coffee mugs around it. This one seems like it would be a quick stitch. But I just really like the sentiment. And I think it would be fun to stitch. So that one. Another one I'd like to start is Odd World by Bendy Stitchy Designs. It says, the world is odd, but sometimes wonderful. This one, I want to do a color conversion. I have a couple of nice variegated threads, which is what the border is done with. And I thought it would be really fun to choose one of my variegated threads and then match the inside shades to the border. So I want to do a color conversion on this one. I think this one will be fun to do. I like the sentiment of it. Another one that I've been wanting to do is by Frog Cottage Designs. It's called Crow Alphabet Sampler. There's something about this one that I just like a lot. I think I would choose a fabric that contrasts a little bit more with the letters. I would like the letters to stand out just a little bit more so you can see them better, because there's letters all around the edges. And then the tree with the crows. But I think this is really pretty, and I think I would really enjoy doing this one. I've had this one for a while and have always wanted to start it. It says, a flower blooms more than once. And it's called A Flower Blooms More Than Once, and it's by Factora. So this is one that I'm thinking of starting in the next year. I got my most recent copy of the World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it came with this 2024 calendar, which has 6 Rendale designs, which if you're familiar with Bothy Threads, they do lots of kits of Rendale designs, and you can get this speckled fabric, which I don't know if you can see there, maybe you can see it there, that the fabric is all speckled. You can get that from Bothy Designs, I believe, but you don't have to do it on that fabric. And I saw that they had this cat, and I kind of fell in love with the cat. So I'm thinking I want to start this one. The chart is in the calendar, and it tells you what threads to use. There's a lot of backstitch. There's a lot of shading. It's a little intimidating, but it could be fun to do. So I'm thinking of doing that one. I have this one, which looks about 1,000,000 years old. It's called The Promise. It's designed by Linda McNally. It says original designs from Homespun Sampler. I don't know if that company even exists anymore. I've never heard of it before, but I like this chart a lot. And there's something about it that I just find romantic and sweet. It has like a Jane Austen feel to me. And I'm not even a huge Jane Austen reader or Jane Austen fan, but there's something about it that I just really like. That kind of, look at the old dress, the old tailcoat. It just looks so sweet. It might be fun to start around Valentine's Day too. So there's that one. This is a newer one to me. I just got this one on sale when Etsy had a sale. It's by Pedal Pusher, who is a designer that I really like, Barbie from Pedal Pusher. This was something a little bit different that I've never seen her really do as a sampler. It's called the Louise Holden 1837 A Witch's Sampler. And the sampler says, with skilled hands and strong wills, use thy nature to mend thy ills. And wrought by Louise Holden, 1837. I love the saying, and I really like the design of the sampler. So I feel like this would be a really nice one to start in the new year. And then lastly, I want to start, I had just this year finished a Mill Hill Beads and Buttons kit by Jim Shore of a cat. The cat was named Scarlet, and it was like pinks and a little bit of reds, and it's a series called Quilted Cats. And there are 2 others in the series. There's this one, which is Petunia, and that's purples. And there's this one, which is Sapphire, which is blues. And I'd like to start one of these this year. It comes with everything in the kit, the perforated paper, the beads, the threads, everything you need to do the kit. And I also have the frames for them. I had picked up the frames when I got the kits. I'm not sure which one I want to start because I love the color purple, but Scarlet was a cat that was upright, sort of like this, and Sapphire is seated down, and that might be more fun to do. It might be more fun to break up the direction of the cat to work on it. So I'm not sure which one, but I think I want to start one of these for the new year. So those are things I'm thinking of starting in 2024. Plus, as I said, I will have some seasonal stitches and some smalls, I'm sure, that I will work on. I'd like to work on some of these WIPs that I just showed you. And there are two main monthly events that I want to do again that I did last year. They're ones that I made up, but I really enjoyed them and I want to do them again. So one of them is Major WIPs March. And Major WIPs March is throughout the month of March, you choose 4 WIPs that are major to you for some reason. Something about them makes them major. And you work on one WIP each weekend to see how much progress you can make on it. So I picked 4 WIPs last year and I worked on them and I made pretty good progress on them, and it was really fun. It forced me to work on some of my WIPs that I hadn't touched in years. I finished something that had been languishing for years. So I think I'm going to do Major WIPs March again. And the other thing I want to do again is Moody May. Moody May is something that I did last year where I made a flow chart and I stitched according to my mood. So whatever mood I was in, I evaluated my mood and I evaluated what kind of stitching. I had some characteristics of stitching that would meet that mood, and I chose a chart to work on based on the characteristics and the mood that I was in. And I made the flow chart available to anybody who was interested in joining me. So I definitely think I want to do that again. I really enjoyed that. I'm a moody stitcher, and it's nice. What I liked about, besides the fact that I usually stitch what I'm in the mood to stitch, what I liked about it was that it was methodical. Like it was almost like journaling. It made me look at myself and how I was feeling that day and what would meet that mood, and feel therapeutic to stitch based on how I was feeling. So I really liked that. So I think those are some of the things I'm going to be doing for 2024. And those are all my WIPs that I have in my stash for my current time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you were here, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.